It's the top of August, and it's time to plant, man.
Oh, Pittsburgh soil.
Hello, hello. Welcome back to Pittsburgh Home Garden. I hope yins have been doing very well. Things have been slowing down here in beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Our weather has finally cleared up a bit. It seems like a very normal summer, at least it has for the last 2 weeks or so. We are coming up on a bit of rain, which is why I want to get some planting done, but hopefully it won't be, 5 days of straight rain where it's drowning out a lot of the plants. The garden is certainly in recovery mode and the weeds are loving it. I've been doing so much weeding this summer just because of all of the rain that we've certainly had. But we are winding down, sadly to say that the summer is starting to come to a close. So today we are actually putting in our last bits of summer crops that, I'm extending the season for. I believe it's going to be warm here at least until October, late October, just because of how the seasons have been changing here. So we are going to start off with planting a very unique melon. All right, so we are in the greenhouse where I will be planting my melons. These are things that I have actually never grown. I've only tried them maybe like once or twice. They are this very sour, very cute little mini tiny watermelon looking thing. It's actually like very cool to see in real life, like a whole pile of them like in your hand. You can fit like 10 in your hand. I'm actually very excited to see these little babies grow and take up space inside this very fruitful greenhouse. The greenhouse has been going nuts. I am so happy that I decided to do an in-ground bed because I'm seeing so much strong growth. This squash plant here is well over 15-16 feet. I have plants crawling on the very top of the greenhouse because it takes about 60 days for them to grow. I imagine these melons will be doing the same thing as these other plants. But first I have to clear up some space. So I believe I'm going to take out my brassicas. I have an entire bed of brassicas, so I'm not too worried about the ones that are inside the bed over here. Right now they're just kind of taking up space because I have one more month of this greenhouse being uncovered, and then at the end of August I'm going to cover it up so I can trap that daytime heat that I am expecting to have during October months. Okay, so now we are actually gonna go with some more late season melons. Okay, so here we are in my prototype melon bed. As you can see, this baby is pretty empty, but that's kind of on purpose. Essentially, half the summer, I have been testing to see whether the animals, namely the groundhogs around here, are annoying enough to chew through all of the plastic that I have around here. So as you can see, I only have 1 or 2 squash up and maybe about, 4 or 5 melons, because I was really trying to test the viability. These basically have been sacrificial plants that have not been sacrificed. So as far as I can tell, the animals will not try to break through this plastic. Maybe it's just a little bit too much effort for them. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill this baby up with the rest of my melons. With it being the very top of August, this is my last chance to grow any type of melons. And just like with the melon, I am putting this in a protected bed to where it's actually going to soak up so much more heat just because of the plastic and the encasement of it. So in this bed, I am going to put my melon, which is one of those very weird random giant eagle melons. I am going to put my Picasso melon, which actually like blew up on my shorts. I have one short that has like 30,000 views and it's all about regrowing this so-called Picasso melon. If you haven't seen that, maybe go check out the short. And I'm also going to put in my sugar baby cantaloupe, which is actually just like a very sweet variety. I think for the next 2 months, these babies are going to do very well. 1, because I know that they're protected. And number 2, with the rest of the heat of the summer focusing in so hard on this bed, I expect all of these plants to actually double their size within the next 2 weeks. And we'll be right back after these special messages.
Keep the sun out your eyes with the last gardening that you ever buy. It's Pittsburgh Home Gardening official hat. Why not give a try? It's the last gardening hat you'll ever buy. With that cute ass logo you can
All right, next on the list, we're gonna go with a bunch of different legumes. So this year, I definitely have an emphasis on beans because I actually am in the process of kind of reconfiguring how my kitchen works and preparing myself to have like a bit of a little pantry this year during the winter months. So of course, any pantry needs a good amount of different beans. I never really understood the variety of beans. So I'm really excited like this year to actually see all of these babies grow in because I have all these very specific, very special varieties. So right here I have the Cherokee wax bean. It's a bush bean. I believe these are the yellow ones. I may be wrong. But I am a big fan of like these wax beans. I don't necessarily understand what the wax in the bean means. Also, because we are, moving into these fall months, having your peas and beans going right now is actually perfect because they survive very well when the weather starts to drop down and these nights start to get a little bit cooler. I also have the pink eye bean, which is a very interesting thing. I've never really grown. It looks just like the black eye bean, but pink. So I figure why not have that in the garden, because I'm all about having all these random colors that you usually don't see in the garden in my garden. Why not? You should have them in yours. And here in my very fruitful greenhouse, I am going to go ahead and put up some more pole beans. I have some pole beans right behind me that are doing very well. So is everything inside of my in-ground bed. I am so excited to see, the actual growth of the end of the summer because I am expecting a lot from these plants in here because the insects haven't seemed to like bother me, knock on some wood. As I was saying earlier, growing your peas and beans right now or even sowing them right now is actually to your benefit because now even in the greenhouse, this is going to be an extended type of temperature setting, during the late fall. And I expect my beans to actually do extremely well in here. So up next, we are going to go with 5 different types of cucumbers. We are back in the melon patch to plant out 3 different types of cucumbers. I actually wanted to plant a lot of cukes. One, because last year I had a great infestation of the cucumber beetle and I didn't get a lot of cucumbers. So this is like redemption for me because all of my cucumbers are doing very well. I have them spread all out throughout the yard and I really think that helped instead of having, the cluster of cucumbers in one area where if, a single beetle got, a smell of them, they could decimate the entire crop. I have my cucumbers spread out throughout 4 different areas of the yard. And this is going to be the 5th, actually. So over here, I am going to plant my garden sweet cucumber. That's going to sit on this side. I have my pickle bush cucumber, which I haven't grown before, but I definitely want to put an emphasis on pickling, the same way that I want to grow my pantry. What's a pantry without a bit of pickled stuff? I don't do any type of like very basic pickling. All my pickling has like turmeric, spices, herbs. It's delicious, so stick around. I might show you how I do things. And I also have my classic Market 76 cucumber over here. And over here in my original hiding place for my cucumbers, I am going to put some more. I actually have 2 or 3 that are ready to be trellised up or, given the string treatment. I like to wait until the cucumbers grow just a little bit because the string can actually pull them out of the ground, when they're very young. So when you're stringing your plants up, you certainly want to be careful. Also, for anybody who hasn't been as lucky as me and has been suffering with the cucumber beetle, it is actually still a great time to go ahead and sow your cucumbers. They are very fast growers. They enjoy the cooler nights. They will do pretty well all the way down to maybe like 50, 55 degrees. So if you have suffered, from the cucumber beetle, go ahead and put those babies in the ground. And last of all, I'm going to be putting in my tomato cuttings that I actually previewed on the last video talking about the tomato blight. These are actually going to be my replacement tomatoes because my early tomatoes suffered that blight. So please cross your fingers for these babies. I certainly would like to thank everybody for watching the video. If you have gotten any type of value from my channel, this video or any past video, please consider, leaving me a little special thanks. I have that feature now on YouTube. They've been hooking me up. The channel has been doing very well because of viewers like yourself. If you have gotten any type of value, $5, $6 of value, please consider donating to the channel. It will essentially just help this channel grow and stay on YouTube, and I'll be able to get out here as much as possible and bring you as much, gardening news and tips and tricks as one may actually want. Also, to support the channel, you can check out my children's coloring book or check out my good old gardening hat. It'll be the last gardening hat that you ever buy. I can promise you that. But until next time, I'll be here gardening.
Oh, Pittsburgh soil, where melodies find roots. In my garden of jazz, wearing dandy boots. Nature's got the beat, and the blossoms hum. Every flower's a note in this lifelong drum.